commitment din big su cara.
So stawal dedi, mitawal dedi, ayas ka
Yeah,
ba? Kung pa haye,
here.
no sabes, hobby druk. Ibon ta haye hobby rato so bom sa.
Super danke.
Intro. Ja, maar ik denk nang de, claro. Nos ting awe ng cast nos awe Sir, o siguro si Sir
Sir
Dr. Cheung.
Edward Cheung.
Yes.
Sí.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Dr. Cheung, feliz mainda pabo.
Dank je. Igualmente.
Como vai? Vakantie? Sim?
Sim, para 2 semanas. Nós está aqui não. Nós está visita frequentemente para sobre minha mama também vai aqui não aí.
Okay.
E tem viagem na Sussô e todo sei nós também cada luna e meio.
Okay.
Também visite.
Nice.
Doon ay kompanya.
3 coisas tem casa.
Of course.
Repairman,
For sure.
tá?
See,
See,
of course,
tama.
of course.
Yes, yes, yes.
Dr. Cheung é o engenheiro principal de NASA sua divisão de projeto de serviços de satélite na Goda, não?
Sim, sim.
E também ela recebeu 2010 recebi condecoração de Real Holandês titular Orde van Nederlandse Leeuw.
Sim,
Leo.
honor grande.
Sim.
Mas chegando para mim com minha família.
Of
Wow.
course,
Yeah,
of
Aruba
course.
Claro.
For sure.
E Dr. Cheung de Chocolate City.
Yeah,
Sa
San
Nicolas.
Nicolas. Fun fact, mensen. Nasa bayan mesmo school, Graaf van Zinzendorf.
Oh yeah,
Aha. Love that.
Eu comecei na quarta classe e depois acabei ter com o verde classe.
Nice.
Estava tão boa experiência. E nossa, me visita a escola não? E
Sim,
nossa
sim, sim.
buyback e não, e visita a escola e papai com o não.
Nice.
Pensando que a mim estava sinta dentro estudo aqui.
Correcto.
Nice,
Iwa
nice.
ka wo. Essa ita na sabi ko Dr. Chanda tuma tempo pa asina tambe bisita a escola, fundasyon ng itami doon ng conhecimento kiko turting aya fo e kung Dr. Changa yega tinang unda ko minachang ta awara ki.
Sim, sim. Então, hobby fun, passou a nossa papai tocando de ciência e espaço. Não, a mim só e sei me dá mais mais preto que emocional tá fascinado com o espaço.
Sí, ita algo ko nota común, no? Kasi nota un
Correct.
trabaho ko bota haya tour dia of ita algo full extraordinario ando ba compartir que sebe mucha tame haya sa kiko masting aya fo e kung pabay te aya banda.
Oh, yeah. And another question, tata algo que Cheung tata gusta de chiquito kaba?
Ah, boa
Science?
pergunta. Sim, me dá pergunta é mais hobby. Contesta tá não. Ora me estava
Wow.
chiquito trabalhando para NASA. Não estava nem sonho, nem pensamento.
Wow.
E tá das razões que me vai visitar a escola. Mostrando que aqui não, diante tem uma pessoa que não estava saco tem oportunidade e a oportunidade
Yeah.
e path caminho é para seguir também.
Wow.
Wow,
Dope.
wow,
Super dope.
Na aya 90, Dr. Cheung acabou a escola na América. Sim, não? Sim, te helang.
Sim.
91, ako sa na NASA.
Assim, minha terminar dezembro de 90 e começar januário 7 91.
Oh, wow. Di biyaha, yung break.
Não,
Ito ta algo inesperado of di viaja of ito na yama mini Dr. Cheung pa.
How was that process?
o processo estava me acaba meu PhD, meu doctorate, e durante o curso de essay, bota publicar o resultado não gradualmente
Okay.
e bota apresentei em publicação não e também durante conferência não.
Okay.
E mi ramo e tempo estava da robotics. E mi estava da by conferência não de robotics internacional. E na dado momento pessoa de Kennedy Space Center mira mi research
Okay.
e ela hire mi tópico, mi research que tá bom fit para space station e ora nós estava construindo a space station tem espaço, tem espaço.
Oh, wow.
E ela deu-me uma oportunidade para trabalhar na Kennedy Space Center para estágio para zomer.
Oh, assim na começa.
Sim, primeiro que eu me estava a trabalhar na Research Center de Philips,
Okay.
Okay.
a companhia holandesa que está famoso para bulbs,
Yeah.
cassete, e passou para ter research arm de robotics na
Okay.
New
Na
York,
Philips.
na Philips,
Okay.
na América. E me estava querendo sempre, você papi holandês, Mita de Aruba, então bom fit. Mita vai
Okay,
trapa
sim.
Philips dia.
Wow.
Pahopi so may korestagem inang. Pero na último aya sa que suceder com NASA em vez wow, mita vai tomar oportunidade para NASA em vez de Philips e dole sem mita inang. Oh, 33 aya.
Wow. So your dream was really Philips.
It wasn't really a dream.
but-
It became the course, the natural course.
Yeah.
As I'm doing my research, they're funding my research,
Okay.
you know, and I'm publishing under their name. Pero after a while, of course, reaction ko nasa akumisa, e misa, wow, this is way better.
Oportunidade,
For
sim.
sure. It was an eye opener for sure.
Agora que vai indo back na pergunta anterior de Vi, qual é o momento of que ora Dr. Cheung haya sa kuta bay ding richting di scientific?
Sim. Sei ta história que começou a hopi young.
Okay.
Me sempre estava fascinado com electronics.
Okay.
Me estava tinha rádio, estava rádio que tá propaganda. Estava box de cigarrilha. Menos coisa tamanho com cigarrilha, Marlboro cigarrilha. Tinha portrait de Marlboro box. Pero estava rádio.
É do rádio, ok.
E me sempre gusta ter rádio, ter estação na praia. E dia ela cai, ela abre fogo e me mira e pensa na ding.
Yeah.
Oh.
And maybe say, wow, this is magic. It's like magic, right?
Sí.
With this magic, you're listening to someone far
Yes,
away,
yes.
music, people talking, like we're doing right now. It means that we can be a dono de magia. I want to be own that.
And I think many people who are like you, they always have like stories like that. But your brain is just in that moment, like how this small box
Yeah.
can make this magic, and when you open it, it's like all of these small things put together that makes sound.
Yeah.
For example.
Dus exploring a começar.
Sim.
Oh, wow.
E onde advice que me dá muito não tá ora algo quebra ding bocas, toma oportunidade para habir, para explorar. E
Verdade.
não tire fora ora quizás para habir, para check, algo aqui para me por solder essa aqui me por
Sim.
Shout out to Pops.
treche e essa começa slow assim.
Sim, assim nada começar. Oh, wow.
Super dope.
Dus era inang interesse para electronics.
E me sempre estava da caneron de casa, coletar peça não, wire não, turcos que ela chama me põe de box, me dá spar não e stop grande, bisa about abini, não lê de aqui não, tava tem tienda, me casa block enang, que tá chamada Manzu Trading Company. Tava tem cube grande de DJ, me não sei se você não tá muito young.
Bota big.
Perdão,
No,
bem.
minta corre no, minta corre.
Ja, gebouw.
E ding tem kit de electronics que não te vende.
Okay.
Okay.
Entre tudo painang e tudo coisa aí.
Oh.
E esse começar com me hayo peça não peça não de electronics
Vale.
de diz wire e coisa aí fuse que estava a coletar. E do esse me começar assim electronics.
So basically, it's self-taught in the beginning.
Sim, me tá self-taught hope e me tá encorajar muito não para tinker, para começar young,
Thinkers.
tinkering,
Yeah.
trabajando
Yeah.
com a mão, trabajando com a mente e haciendo una tacinha na mesa. E,
Pero ding ay ng 80 bota haya na Rio siya ko tayo radyo ng bume arma bitaw ka tempo na ay 80 bota haya radyo ng iko científico aw hindi mo na yan naman no que
no,
aw hindi
sei lástima.
Sí.
Sí, estaba en un racetrack aqui na mesa, na playa,
Sí.
Sim.
para atrás de Inang e esta Inang ainda, esta
Sí,
llama
sí.
algo
Tech
parts.
Tech
Sí, sí, algo assim. Ele cambia su nombre para su racetrack casera. E seleção de peças não ainda basta bom ainda. Mira,
Okay.
masha impressed. Si meeting mister algo na isla, Inang me também. Para trás de Caio Betic Cruz. E sim, pero é nota única, sei que coisa sucedeu nota única para Aruba, tour, merca, really chega baia bom, não começa
Sí.
vender telefone e coisa aí.
Things changed.
Sim.
E não emphasis estava da não riba peça não riba booking não. Só sobre não estava vendo hobby booking de electronics, mas é
Sim.
bom mesmo. E me tava sinha di say
Kijk dan.
Nice, nice.
Meneer Dr. Cheung, ga je habber kaba? Tempo que se encontrar na nossa habber, afela como so. Porque só habber de 24 anos, não?
Oh, mas que 30 anos.
Mas com 30 anos?
30 anos em espaço.
Kita harbor pa is nang kumusta kita harbor.
okay,
'Cause
okay.
right now I'm like, ding, ding, ding.
Sim.
That's harbor.
Basta na noite estrela não te brilha, não te twinkle.
Okay.
Pero estrela também é que não solo não te brilha, é constant, right?
Yeah.
E a razão estava sobre a luz de estrela da vai door de nossa atmosfera, e da bounce rond com de stof e nuvem e também flashlight que da beira ding e atmosfera. E door sei é da brilha, sobre a luz da zwaai rond tiki. Door de que bounce. Mas que da boa água, se mira riba, bota mira solo da vaso, right? So I think é água.
Effect.
E para evitar efeito, e dole sei imagem de estrela, de planeta, não tá bem tiki vaso.
Waza.
Yeah.
Sim.
E para evitar sei, potin com hinka e telescope em espaço.
Ok.
A fo de
The atmosphere.
efeito não de atmosfera.
Ok.
Sempre sei tava dul, pero primeiro que nós estava tendo raquete para riba coisa não tem espaço, não pode fazer. Então preciso pensamento, would be nice to take it out the atmosphere. E pero do que a tem tecnologia nos propõe telescópio em espaço. Não sei só, pero o efeito de nossa atmosfera para filtrar a luz para proteger-nos.
Correcto. Sim, sim.
Que me que
Estrala, não.
tem coluna que não pode
We cannot see with our own eye.
and we are not able to see on the ground because they're being filtered. They're being blocked by the atmosphere.
So it's basically colors that we don't even know exist.
Colors that you don't see
You don't
Don't
see
see
it, but
it.
exists.
in normal life.
Because we
And
have the rainbow colors right now.
you have the rainbow colors, but
Yeah.
that's just a tiny
Oh,
little
wow.
speck
Oh, you just blew my mind
color
with that one.
of
You
the whole
just blew my
electromagnetic
mind.
spectrum, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you kind of touch at that when you feel heat.
Oh.
Okay.
Like when you go to a hibachi and they're cooking,
Correct,
and
correct.
they put this big flame up, boom, you feel this
The heat.
heat.
But
That's
you can see it.
infrared.
Infrared. Oh.
That's
Which we can't see, but we
cannot-
feel.
We feel. It's
And it's a color.
it's a color that's deeper than red.
I
Okay,
love this. I love this. I love
it's
this.
deeper than red. As you go from blue to green to yellow to red, the wavelength, the waves get longer and longer, and it gets so long at some point you stop seeing it, but it's still waves, and they become heat waves, and you can feel the heat. And then on the other end is ultraviolet.
Correct.
Ultraviolet, you know very well, it's even more violet than violet. It's so short that you don't see it, but it has chemical action. Plants use it to make sugar. Skin gets darker when it gets hit by it. Plastic deteriorates when it gets hit. It's a very active kind of light.
Okay.
So stars produce all this light. They don't just produce a nice little sliver of invisible light. They produce all light.
All light.
It's a whole spectrum.
Wow.
And so to see out without this color is like, not being able to see color red. You walk around without color red. How much you're missing? And you don't even know because you're not visible to it. Well, all these colors exist and they tell you, hey, this apple is red. And you can look out in the world and study. So I'm going to take you a little bit further.
Now take us all the way.
And so back when we were young or before we were born, there were street lights that were yellow.
Yellow. Yes.
Yeah.
And there were sodium lights, right? They were yellow. And that's because they were one of the more efficient form of light. I won't tell you why. But what happens is, the periodic table of elements. They're all the elements that make up our whole lives. And each element has its own color. Each of the elements, if you hit it, they will bounce and give you that color. And that color for sodium is yellow.
Okay.
You fill a tube with sodium gas, natrium,
Natrium.
and you pump energy through it. It starts to vibrate and give you light, okay? But there's also something else that happens. If you shine white light through the natrium bulb, it will absorb the yellow. So if you take the sun and you project the spectrum on the ground, you see all the rainbow, right?
Correct.
It
correct.
looks like a nice continuous stripe of color.
Yes.
But if you zoom in close, you see there are gaps missing. The little black marks because there's no light there. Yeah. Initially, when people did that, they were like, how
What's
come?
that? Correct.
Why is there light? And then you zoom in closer to the red, you see
There's a
like
gap.
a missing gap there.
Yeah.
And then you look everywhere, there are gaps here and there. It turns out that all these gaps are the signature of the elements that are of the light that's making the light.
Wow.
Okay.
So with this, you can take the light of the sun, break it up, and tell what the sun is made of. You can do science at a distance. You can tell how old the sun is. How
And this is information that we have.
yeah. Oh, yes. Just by taking the spectrum, breaking it up, and looking at the gaps, you can see, oh, the sun has all these items in it. And these are the things that are burning in the sun. And the stars. All the stars, you can then take the spectrum and tell almost everything about it. How old the star is, how big the star is, because they all have their fingerprints, they all have their signature.
Wow.
How far away the star is.
Oh,
All
wow.
these things you can tell.
Interesting.
Ah,
Okay.
interessante.
Yes, love it.
Hoping.
Nós temos pergunta.
Yes,
Temos pergunta. Um biting que para mim é Aruba box como ne Cheung atrás. Nós estou aqui dentro da pantalla aqui. Ela bora trabalhar para pôr riba hubble, não? Sim,
Sim.
Pero que sua missão tá para pôr riba
What was the purpose?
Hubble tem espaço para 30 e pico anos, ok?
Okay.
Vida normal de satélite está 5 para 10 anos. Passou para Costa Quibra,
Okay.
ela tem espaço.
Em por Frússia, sim.
Verdade.
Em por Frússia.
Good point, sim, verdade. E não por Frússia, não tem oxigênio, não tem zuurstof.
Okay.
Pero Costa Gasta não, Costa wear out.
Sim.
E tem espaço está hopi difícil para... It's a harsh environment, não
Okay.
visa.
The longevity is very short.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I won't tell you why. We can get into why, but all I have to say is that Hubble is in space. Para 30 anos para sobre nós a service, nós a upgrade, nós a visite com astronaut,
Okay.
com tripulante humano, vai arriba, abre porta não, direche,
Direche.
cambia peça não,
Do new service.
doing um service.
Okay.
E isso aqui estava ter team na Terra para trabalhar a equipo. E a mim estava da parte de ser.
Oh, I love that.
Mita electrical engineer e hopi peça não de Hubble que nós temos de pantalla. Tá trabalhar de team e a mim estava da parte de electrical engineers. Que estava trabalhar equipo elétrico.
So there's a piece of Aruba up there.
Yes.
Yes,
And so
we are in
one day
space.
we had the task of building this large panel that you see on the Hubble, and nós a realizar que nós a dúvida algo,
Oh.
nós a overlook algo,
Okay.
nós por introduzir falho de sistema novo
Okay.
e nós estamos de add algo para proteger
Okay.
o Hubble. E nós formamos team e a minha líder de team A.
Okay.
E me estava sa godot ku me hasi hopi de missions na ay ku elo instalar para fo,
Okay.
elo instalar ku astronaut e a mim lo tinha oportunidade para do number.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Okay.
E
Okay.
me llame Aruba,
Aruba.
pero esse é um acronym.
Acronym.
Esta palavra hopi mais grande, pero ora tu me primeira letra não, é bira
Aruba.
Aruba, ARUBA. Me propose sei para herência de NASA, não acceptei, passou na comita de Aruba
I love that.
e nasa de como assim. E into that oran astronaut instalar em Hubble Aruba, emiting vídeo de Aruba no website. Ela bisa em nome de Aruba dentro espaço.
Really?
Sim,
So we're echoing out there as
exactly.
well. Oh, I love that.
In the inter space communication channels, our name is echoing
So
still.
it's forever echoing, right?
Yes, forever
Echoing.
that
In the
that
universe.
word, that sound is
Aruba.
being
Super dope.
emitted, and so now it sits outside of Hubble, has a little label on it, says Aruba on it.
Aruba.
So if you were to visit Hubble today and look, you see a
see
little
that.
box with the word Aruba on it.
Super dope.
Ay, oh, wow.
Habo lo waro reemplaçar um dia, você está virando hobby bio, que
Está
me waro
virando-
bahabo, anto pon um novo, mas não bisa, mas me pita bisa sim, pero portanto, então, tá senta bem, afeta waro.
Bom pergunta, Big Rec, danke para pergunta dan. Normalmente nós nota ori com satélite ora tem aire na Terra, of course, não está sempre aire. Pero se você vai mais arriba, é aire de menos e menos.
Correct.
sim.
E no espaço não tem aire mesmo, mas tem mais tique aire,
porcentagem.
ok? E tem átomos não tá mais pouco mais. Que men que tu satélite eventually tá slow down tique e do descer não tá cai a fora do espaço e bem back na Terra,
Oh, okay, okay.
não tá tem espaço do de não velocidade, ok? E raquete do não velocidade
Papuxa
e
na área.
para puxar na arriba e não tá queda arriba do de velocidade. Se você perde a velocidade, você vai
Bata ba?
vai abaixo, right? Exatamente. E tudo não vem assim. E mesmo que tu Hubble, ora nós estava da bicicleta, nós estava da usar space shuttle para boost e mais alto.
Ah, kira mande.
Sim, mais alto para outro bem nossa bicicleta,
Ma,
mas mande mais alto a outro.
atrobe.
E isso que zack te outro mission. Well, nós não bicicleta Hubble para just 4 anos acaba. Óbvio. Passou
Tá
para space
pensar,
shuttle.
sim, tá pensar.
Passou para space shuttle, vou retirar. Vou nós notar, põe space shuttle tem não,
not
ou nós
active.
usar raquete.
Você usa SpaceX, você usando.
Sim, nós usamos na SpaceX. E a raquete não por começar puxa Hubble. Para sobra não tem fixture para couple riba Hubble para puxar.
Papuxa.
E solamente special estava da
Sim,
tinha esse.
Yeah.
Zij estava da tarefa máquina de special. Estava da Hubble que special estava da criar para outro.
Yeah, yeah.
É motivo que nós stop
A razão estava muito caro e nós apenas 2 tripulantes
Correct.
durante
correct.
ano. Para sobra a nave da banda de raquete.
Yeah, it's like a, yeah.
Se a raquete explotar,
Era
vai
nave.
arremeter a
A
nave
nave.
com o tripulante dentro.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Hoje em dia, a nave está cinta arriba, é o hobby mais chiquito,
Okay.
pero em raquete, se tem, ela começa a explotar, está vai arrancar a capsule e
Oh,
rale for
love that.
Sim. Launch abort system, não tem uma raquete hobby grande, que tem ponto, e solamente está funciona, está para arrancar a capsule para salvar a vida de astronauta.
Nice.
Durante a arremeta, não
They go away.
Wow, nice.
Pero special não estava tem feature aí. E nós perdemos 2 tripulantes. E pensava francamente, special estava da hobby caro para operar.
Okay.
Hobby caro. Comparar com SpaceX raquete não estava da hobby mais barata. Não está reuse não, basta, não está land e raquete e usa não troca.
Isso não back.
Anyway, não estava da
Hubble. Outra Hubble. Outra pergunta. O tempo que o Dr. Cheung com sa traha bota haya tools ta bota haya para traha e bota haya equipe kung para trahe ta so kung ta special bito
É
so para
material.
space material.
Sim.
So ta kwente bota bay ko man ko pa material in back material ta din nasa mi.
Eta algo que nós está trabajando mês para sobra hoje em dia tem CAD cam, tem robot na que tá corta metal, bota diz começa a menos a ser para sobra electrical, nós tem parte tem que tá mechanical,
Mechanical.
e nanta design tour e peça não,
Okay.
tem CAD, tem computer,
Yeah.
e nós também file para o robot e tá corta turcos, preparar esse Seita equipo mecânico, para equipo elétrico, nós está usa circuit boards não normal, pero não está diki. E nós está procurar com o calor que tem, está word sacar, nós chamamos conductively. E nós está
Okay.
usa aire para cool off course.
Correct.
Maneira tem fan tu para computer.
There won't be no
Sim.
overheating.
And we cool things without air. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, because there's of course no air.
Yes.
But all your like computers here, they all have fans inside.
Correct,
They're all
correct.
blowing all day whoosh whoosh whoosh.
Yeah.
So we don't use fans. We have to use what's called conductive cooling, where everything is passed into metal right away, and then
And
out
out of
a
the
radiator outside of the spacecraft.
Anda sina ita kula off.
Right. Right.
Wow. E botahan na nasamento até sinang pabo e doctor me trago na.
É material.
So tinha hora botahan material lang ku botahan na di ba kaya, wala to caminho.
No,
Nasa
no.
so tinang.
Sim.
So bota pensa mene da onde material que é bem ku
Nós trabalhamos for the manufacturers the electronics, pero não está trabalhando especial para nós.
Special, sim.
Obviously.
Não está trabalhando especial e não está testando especial para nós. E do de sei não está caro.
Sim.
Essa é parte da razão que construindo equipe de espaço de cine caro. Para sobre nós não está trabalhando em volume não grande.
okay.
Do you think it's possible that one day when the Hubble comes down, we can have it here on the island?
Thank you. I was going to talk about that. Big Rick just see. So normally
Yeah.
we don't. A satellite will come into the atmosphere and burn up,
Oh.
Okay, sim.
just like an asteroid does, like a big rock just burns up. But Hubble is different because of the big mirror. The mirror is 3 meters, big glass mirror,
Yeah.
and with calculations we know that mirror will not burn up.
Okay.
Oh.
That mirror will hit the ground.
Okay.
Okay, and so there is a law, an international law that says that if the thing that lands is bigger than like 1 square foot,
Okay.
you have to deorbit it, as we could say, control.
Okay.
So we're supposed to take a rocket, hook it up to Hubble, and instead of pushing it higher, we're gonna push it down.
Okay.
Exactly. So it lands in the Pacific.
Yeah.
There's a spot in the Pacific that is like the graveyard of lots of spacecraft.
Spacecraft.
Really?
Okay.
We aim for that spot and crash into the Pacific.
Oh, and then it stays there? Or?
Yes, it will stay there.
I don't like that one.
Wow.
That's breaks our heart too.
Yeah.
But honestly, I've had a lot of hardware from going to space station. A lot of the hardware from space station does not come back and put in the museum. It's just burned up.
Oh.
I have a lot of hardware that just burned up in space.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, that's the way it is. You know,
Yeah.
you build it, you take such good care of it, and then it goes into space and does its job, and
It stays
Guys,
there.
yeah.
Okay, wow.
We tem outra pergunta que não deu uma entrevista mas tem o Dr. Cheung bisa é mais fun que o Dr. Cheung e trabalha o dia passa bonta é aqui.
See.
É aqui conta-nos o que o Dr. Cheung está fazendo dele.
Saki é zero gravity flight. Maneira basta ding espaço, botas wave,
Sim, no gravity.
ding nave. E saki tá com nossa experiência sem binding espaço.
Okay.
E bota experiência zero gravity para meio minuto largo.
May minute largo. Okay.
Que men kuba meio minuto bota hang zero G, pero para pagar base botin com experiência 2G para mais ou menos 2 minutos.
Okay.
E vai dor de aeroplano. Maneira se botar vai de elevator, para de elevator e não tem ventana não. E não te corta cabuia.
Oh, Lord.
Que vai suceder? E elevator e tudo é contenido vai cair. Pero tudo vai cair together.
Yeah.
Do de say abo vai experiência zero gravity.
Sim, professora, ita ba yendo abaw, ando abota toch
Igualmente,
levitate.
sim, boda ora boda levitate ding em cabina. Não vai be able to push arriba nada, pessoal, você puxa, boda vai just bounce back.
And what do you feel inside you? How do you feel inside?
Have you ever
Yeah, I need to know these things.
have you ever, in when you go to colony,
Uh-huh.
I jump in ang
Yeah.
that back and that drop, right?
That's what you feel?
That's what you feel.
Oh my God.
Exactly. You
Oh.
feel this thing in your stomach. Because why? Because your body has learned that falling is dangerous.
It's a reaction.
Falling
Say
could
no, the-
mean that you're gonna go bam,
Yeah, yeah.
hit the ground, and you learn when you're walking. Okay, I'm falling. Oh, stumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold yourself.
Yeah.
That's part of walking. It's part of living, learning to walk. And how do you know that? It's because you have a little G meter too. When the G drops, you know, oh, I'm falling. And sometimes when you're jumping off something, your eyes are telling you,
I
okay,
see.
everything's cool. I'm jumping. I can feel, But if you were to jump and close your eyes and feel that, like you're going down the hill, you feel your stomach. Your stomach is telling your body, wait a minute,
Something's
floating.
not
You're floating.
Yeah.
G is dropping.
Yeah.
Alert. And so that's that feeling that now you learn to, ooh, what's that? Because it's dangerous. Well, that's what happens when you're going into zero gravity. So as you're flying, everything's great. You know, this airplane, it has no windows, all covered because to create, to strengthen the illusion of being in space.
Yes.
Okay? And it's all padded with pads because, yeah, guess what? You can hit the walls. And so you're flying along, everything's fine, and then they start dropping and like a rock. It's like you drop a rock out the window, whoosh, it goes straight down. The whole plane starts diving straight down. You dive along with it. You go into zero gravity, and as soon as you do that, your stomach goes, oh my gosh, what's happening? And then once you take, you get used to that 5 seconds,
adjust.
and then you're floating around. It's really amazing to float
Yeah,
around
prima.
like you're in space at that point.
Wow.
Wow, nice.
Amazing.
So, to
feeling.
kota floaten to, kung may bahay ta haso, e bahay niya sa loob na haso.
Of course.
Well.
Is everything floating?
See, so to si
Sakit
kota
ta-
floata, e bahay na tayo, but iba bahay, no? So, ti bahay.
See. Well,
How did they do that, by the way?
Yeah, so this is a question that I get a lot from kids. Okay, and I'll tell you. So first off, when you are doing a spacewalk in a spacesuit, you're outside for 8 hours. Okay, 8 hours out there, you're working. You don't come inside, so you wear a diaper.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, you wear a diaper the whole time.
Wow.
You wear a diaper the whole time, and in the past it has happened where it has leaked.
Oh.
And everything's floating around, and these astronauts are pretty tough, and they just keep working.
Of course, you have no
There's a
other
story-
choice.
There's a story of this astronaut that at some point he stopped talking. He was just going, That's all he was saying, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't opening his mouth. We couldn't figure out why he's
Why?
not opening his mouth. Turns out later on we find out that urine was floating around in his
In his
suit,
suit.
because it had leaked, and he was not going to open his mouth for that reason.
Oh.
But he
Makes
was
sense.
kept on going.
Ah, sita kita
Kept on
kita.
working.
Ito kita, see,
Oh,
Oh, Lord.
Well,
Wow.
anyway, so that's in the spacesuit.
in the spacesuit
In
when you're working
in-
outside.
When you're outside in a suit. When you're inside in the space station, you have to do a number one. We use a vacuum on the end of a line.
Okay.
There's a little tractor there that's shaped
Like a
according to the
catheter.
academy. It's not a catheter,
no, pero
but it doesn't. It's still like that.
You will swear Angie was in space.
and then we turn on the vacuum, and then you use the tractor to go do a number one.
okay.
And by the way, the water is recycled, and you drink it again.
Oh.
Which one? From the pee?
Yes.
The drink
It's
in the pee?
not
one?
recycled.
They recycle it, they clean it, and the water is reused.
Okay, it's
Oh, wow.
okay.
Who wants
wait,
to go
wait,
into space now?
Wait.
Not me.
I have a question. Turhin ti ung apart of ito by ding
Ate,
solo uno.
Malibot
Solo
wait,
uno.
di ba? Because sa akin meeting. Sa akin meeting rio pantay.
Okay. So
What's that?
so when you do a number two, that's good research, Big Rick. But the cinta riba is but the mira a pipe by number one. Kuda Grace, kuda
Okay.
Bindi,
Okay.
but the
But yung kidding.
see, but
Ano ito by ding uno, no? Does you drink mine, I drink yours, and recycled.
It's all cleaned, recycled, but it's all like that. Okay? And then for number two, you sit on that. And by the way, to train for that, because you have to sit in a very particular spot. Okay?
Okay.
So
Okay.
on the ground, you train. How do you do
You
that?
potty train
You,
again.
you potty train again, and you sit on something like that with a camera that faces up.
Carol?
And then you see the picture, okay?
Oh.
And that's how you sit and train to put yourself in the
In
right,
the right
spot.
position.
In the right
Yeah.
position.
Oh, well. See.
With a camera.
Because
wants
if,
to go to
because
space
if
now?
if you do not sit the right spot, it might seep out.
Well, so for what happens is when you are there, you turn on a button and then a fan turns on.
Okay.
And then air goes down and helps everything go in the right direction.
Ah, okay.
Yung dabay dabay na espacio poop.
Sì, sei ta vuoto collectar e ta vuoto pone ding a nave e nave de bolbe back e ta kima. E ta ture nave henter costa. Like I said, everything comes back. Most of it just burns up.
Burns
Okay.
out.
And
okay.
and
the
you know,
ecosystem.
your clothes, the trash, the food you don't eat, you know, the waste.
Everything
Th-
is
those
poof.
Yeah, water
All of
gets sprayed out and ejected, but solid waste
Solid.
comes back.
And we also have a question from a listener who asked, do you believe that we will ever reach Mars?
Wow, good question. So let me start by saying that the distance to the moon orbits the Earth, right? It goes around the Earth.
Yeah.
So distance to the moon is about the same all the time.
Okay.
It takes 3 days to go to the moon, okay?
Okay.
Perdonasme vai em inglês, fica mais fácil para mim.
See, it's okay.
But we, Earth, and Mars orbit the sun, right?
Yeah.
So what's the distance to Mars? Well, it depends. Sometimes Mars is on the same side of the sun as us, so it's close. Other times Mars is on the other side, so it's far away.
Yeah.
So the distance changes all
All
the
the
All the
time.
time. But you can make it, bom. You have to. Wala mo ba? But you can make it pa chegar net o ba
Yes, exactamente, Big Rick. Ito tuma 6 lunas by Mars,
How
but you
much?
6 months.
6 months.
My God.
But you have to go to where Mars will be in 6
In
months.
6 months.
Just like what Big Rick says.
See, what
So
you-
you meet the planet where it's going to be in 6 months.
Okay.
You can't just go where the planet is now because guess what? It's gone.
You're gone ta.
So you can only go to Mars. I mean, the longer it takes, the more resources, the more food,
Correct,
more fuel, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to time it just right so that
That's right.
you launch and then you meet up at Mars at the right moment. But that means that the same for the way back. And
Yeah.
that has to line up. It's like a clock.
Yeah.
And that takes 2 years.
Wait. Going is 6, coming back.
Back in.
No. Coming back is 6 months also.
Oh,
But you have
the
to
clarifica-
wait
Oh,
2 years before the window opens again.
Oh.
Shut
It's
the
every
door.
2 years.
On a periodic basis, going to Mars is good. Let's say it's next month. Now is you gotta go, okay? If not, you gotta wait 2 years for
years
the
to
next
try again.
opportunity. And then same thing, coming back, you have to wait for a particular time before you come back. So a round trip to Mars is 3 years. No choice. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm done."
You have to wait.
My father decided.
Make it by cast.
Miguel by cast.
Yeah.
No.
But the stop thing, now boom, but the punch, baton lang, but by cast. In nota sina.
And what are your thoughts with there's another question from our listeners. Elon Musk. He
I'll get
wants
to that, but let me finish the
Okay.
previous one. So, do I ever think we're going to go to Mars?
Uh-huh.
And I don't think in my lifetime for sure. Maybe not in a few lifetimes because there's more to that. So 2.5, 3 years, like I tell the kids, that's a lot of sandwiches. Okay? So you have to send all that food and water, just like you did in the
Yes.
movie Martian. The movie Martian is pretty good. Everything was sent first, landed, set up, operational, checked out, and then the guy arrives and he can use the facilities, right? And the return ship is ready to go.
Yeah.
All that, and you need a lot of you're gonna get a lot of radiation, and the soil on Mars will kill you. It's high in perchlorates, which is a poison. So you can't just go outside and breathe it. It's a planet's trying
So
to
why
kill you.
why would we
Go
want to go
to-
over there then?
And then suicide.
Sinahay awa.
No, that's a
Sinahay
question.
awa ito ay. Epo ba ibu
Por, sí, in no high hour, na Mars,
See?
pero frozen,
Frozen.
Bautera.
Seto
So
mo
we'll
to.
have to go get it.
But what's the curiosity to go to Mars if it's
Um,
so deadly?
Yeah, it's the you're now getting into a
Another one.
more philosophical question. I personally believe in exploration with machines myself, but I don't run NASA. So, people want to go to Mars. That's the goal.
Yeah.
We have to. Okay, let's go on to the second question. Elon Musk.
Hey, I'm dabbling kung ko Okay, no more. Minuto sige di ba saki? And they asked about Elon Musk, as he also wants to go to Mars, or he's
Right.
saying that as well.
Yeah.
How do you people in NASA think about Elon?
Who's on the space there?
I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to say how I personally feel about it.
I love that even more.
I'm not going to speak for NASA. In my opinion, I frankly used to admire the man. Okay.
Okay.
Um, I I'm not into politics, but I cannot separate real life from non-real life, and I don't agree what he's done with Twitter, for example, at all.
Okay.
And it's changed my mind about how I feel about how. And I've worked with SpaceX. I've been in their ships. I worked with their people.
Yeah.
They're great people. I think SpaceX is successful, not necessarily because Musk does all the deciding. He has a lot of people
Of course.
at higher levels that run the company, I think that he is a very brilliant entrepreneur, but I don't agree with him
In
a lot of
everything.
things he
Yeah.
says.
Não sabia
Mas
também que o
pergunta.
Dr. Cheung tá bom, balhador bom também.
Ah,
Agad-
Minas
tá
Veras
okay.
aí.
Tá ok. Sim. Onde me tá gostasse ser e daí tá onde me
Hobby nang?
passions me
Sim.
bisa.
Okay, like.
Pero me não tão bom bailador, pero me gostasse.
Ai.
Malalena
have
não tá
fun.
bisa baila malo passa
Passa
bom.
bom. Baila
Right?
malo, passa
E
That's
também
me.
mali para tu portrait de Dr. Cheung, que o Dr. Cheung se casar também, né? Ayer Dr. Cheung a casa. Obi feliz me.
Sim, nós temos bom marriage. Nós está 33 anos casar.
Nice.
Wow. Wow.
Conheceu outra na escola?
Prometo que sei, me estava da viva na Unocostrat, just 3. E ele estava da 23, algo assim.
Oh, on the same street.
Same street,
Oh.
same street, neighbors.
So you were jumping the wall.
No, I wasn't jumping the wall. Maybe I'll tell you later. I was, but no, I'm not. Yeah, so nós temos uma relação para
Nice.
roupa década e
Boa que ainda o hotel para pensar. Ayer vai para começar. It's nice.
Does your feeling?
Sim, tá feeling nice.
Super dope.
Dr. Cheung tá zunda na casa. E tá percebendo que o Dr. Cheung tá indo com zunda na casa.
não, nós, I mean,
É muito nang anto.
não.
Ai, ali pala.
Pero me quer bisa que algum dia me tá viaja hopi e me tem privilégio de trazer acnas comigo todo lugar me
Nice.
também. Me tem programa que se chama Companion Pass,
Okay.
Go
Companion
Southwest.
pass.
que
Okay.
tá allow que
Oh,
me tá
nice.
trazer
Everywhere you go.
everywhere.
Ai.
Sim,
Wow.
É muito nang sita que da mercado.
sim, sim.
Wow. Nata nem rumbo de Dr. Cheung também que
Aha, good question.
Sim,
babe.
me mulher sim.
Oh, nice.
Ito trando na nasa também.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Wow.
Nice. Ding ding.
Sim, me Muhammad tá tem ramo de vídeo, pero me mulher tá onde me projeto não, e não tá junto comigo, pero na outra parte DJ. Maneira via punta se Hubble tá pode reemplazar, e contesta tá sim, passou para nós tá trando riba outro telescope.
Okay.
Kuda ding visible light. Mana James Webb ta ding infrared light. Deep infrared pa mira ding pasado. Pero nosta usa Roman Space
Okay, you
Telescope
just had my brain twinkling. So
pa
you guys,
Dimension?
you have guys.
Pupawak ni
Space,
see-
or you
see-
go
see-
back, forward, like
Back.
space,
Back.
time.
well you can go back. So let's say
Okay.
I'm talking to you here. I'm hearing you now. But let's say you walk a kilometer away and you start talking with me, I will hear you half a second later.
Later.
I will be hearing what you're saying half a second in the past. And you will hear me half a second in the past too. I'm saying this and then you don't hear me till later.
Yes.
Well, light takes time to travel in the universe too. It's very, very fast. But it's not, I mean, it takes light 8.5 minutes to come from the sun. And 30 seconds to go to the moon. So you're looking at the sun 8.5 minutes in the past. So now you keep going farther and farther in time and distance. Now you're looking at the way stars are in the past. And so, like I said before, you can tell the makeup of a star by its color, right? Its
Correct.
spectrum.
Yes.
Well, now we can take a fingerprint and compare our sun to the other stars and say, oh, that's our sun billions
Back
of
then.
years ago. That's how it looked. So that's how you can travel back in time.
You can travel back in time.
Team proyecto ako que ainda Dr. Cheung tá basic ko na NASA?
Sí, algún día me nota producir equipo más, mita más nanta chama firefighter. Mita traha vários projetos nang
Okay.
se tem algo que vai fault, nanta chamami.
Oh, okay.
You're the one like in movies? Something is happening on Earth. We need to get
Dr.
Dr.
Cheung.
Cheung.
That's something like that. Yeah.
I love that.
A mim tem uma pergunta. Mirando que tem câmera, telescope, etc. Tem space, você iwak algo unusual?
Sempre nós está mira algo unusual. Nós está sempre sinhando de que nós está mirando. Pero pergunta me dá ito kan de aliens.
Of course. Of
Believe in that.
Tá,
Sim, sim, sim.
turcos, right? Sai tá bonita cos de papi com them. E tem nós não a mira nada com me visitar alien.
Confirmation ko ito.
Sim, nós tá mira development de estreia não que tá estranho, pero aceita lead into nós sim mais de como a universidade trabalha.
Correct.
Pero bisabo se nós hay algo sensational manesina, e não também vira se quer, nós
Sa kiel out there.
para sobre onde meta na grande de NASA tá busca prova de vida a fora de nós terra. Sei da de como nós existir, ok?
Yeah.
E nós não também esconde se nós por bisa hey nós tá hay prova de vida de outro planeta ou outra estrela. Sim.
A ver, tengo una pregunta. Uma net va a pensar, pero me gusta dar rim up. Ora, Dr. Cheung, decidi dentro de la NASA, você está me está supondo você está um contrato de confidencialidade.
Confidential?
Aham. Anto, você está um style de less, que você marca de papel, que você não marca de papel, até onde você
Divulgar.
pode chegar com esse onde tu vai.
Sim, sim. Sem nós suceder ora me dentro da NASA. Para sobre o trabalho de NASA é público. E não tem nenhum segredo de jeito.
Transparency.
Nós estamos transparente. Pero, a medida que o social media nós temos education para nós não por I can't speak for NASA.
On
I
behalf.
can't say
Uh-huh.
NASA thinks it's a great idea. Because I don't represent NASA. No
Yeah.
individual does.
Yeah.
So that's the one training we do get.
Okay.
It's not don't talk about this because it's secret, and there are no secrets. We're not a security agency. We're not NSA.
Area
we're not-
51. Area 51.
we don't know anything about that. Okay.
How did you sign something not to say
I-
that?
I could tell you then, but I have to shoot you later. No. No.
No,
But-
we need to be.
No, not you. We need you. No, I'm just kidding. I
Yeah,
don't
I can
have
imagine.
secrets like that. Now, I'm not part of the military. Now, in the
True,
military,
that's
there's
true.
the Space Force, there's the Air Force. They probably would know this stuff if it existed,
Okay.
because they are military. They're secret. We are a civilian agency. You know,
Civilian.
NASA is civilian, so we're not the military side of
Yeah.
space.
Dr. Cheung, tapos ko astronaut namin tinha wala kasi nanta
Oh,
pinha
sí.
bao bis mene. Eu quanta from série na cambie, botado.
Oh, yeah.
Sim, sim, eu também bis punta lá bisava que kilawak.
No está así sei, pero no está informal assim.
Tapia bao, qual que tá malo?
Está bordo
Senta atrás.
comunicar oficialmente.
Of course.
Sim, com comunidade
Tem
grande,
process.
está bordo escrever, maneira lesson e
Report.
report e tudo ainda dá beneficiar de sei, não just person to person.
Tapos mene, vinha
Sim,
bao
pastor.
Canada shop isso. Quanta tá aí arriba?
Sim, você me quer dizer algo daí, anto em vez de bisele cada dia uno nanta
Right,
nanta sum it up, anto
Uh-huh.
nanta mande.
Pessoal, astronauta não quer repetir lessons
process
aí
outra vez.
tampouco.
Sim.
Não quer, hey, você estava essa tour hora de como você não faz algo. Você não tá.
E quanto tempo de preparação para mandar astronaut? Ongeveer.
Minuta seguro para sobre exceto suceder nós tem 7 centros de NASA na América.
Ok.
E astronauta não tá viva e na trem na Houston,
Ok.
na Johnson Space Center, Houston, Texas. E mission control tá aí não.
Okay.
Ami tá viva e trabalha na Goddard Space Flight Center. Essa tá na onde nós tá construir a nave não que tá vai em espaço. E todo esse centro não tem não specialization.
Ok.
Durante a ano de Hubble, me estava tendo contato com o hobby astronauta não. Para sobre nós estava tá trabaja con astronauta na. Nata usa
Nice.
a nave, pero hoy en día mi no trabaja con man space más. Mi trabaja con astrophysics, científico na, e weather. Onde mi proyectan ta un weather satellite. E do the same no tem hobby contato com astronauta na.
Okay.
Okay. And lastly, nós tínhamos outra pergunta de nosso oyente que pergunta: Can stars still be named?
See, stars can still be named,
Okay.
but you got to realize that there is an official association, international association that names the stars.
Oh,
Okay, and that's separate from many services you can buy on the internet that says name your own asteroid, name your own star. So they will take your money and put your name into a catalog and say, okay, that thing is your
But that's
name.
not right.
But it's like I were to do the same thing for a rock or a building.
Yeah. Rip
What
off.
does it mean? Doesn't mean a whole lot. Maybe they give you a certificate, you feel good, and that's great. Okay, that's what you want. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you got to realize that is not the real. You can't rename Uranus or you can't rename Saturn because that's done by an international organization.
Correct. Correct.
So there's that distinction, and there's a tradition on naming things. You know, like planets are named after Greek gods, and stars are named after in a very particular way. So I yeah.
Tima minim is nang eta message hinang ko ta do number na Milky Way. Milky Way tama ta dinos yung number tama na. Iba tayo mga galaxy ko to number. Senta hinin tama ta do number ni.
Sim, sim. Se nós tá viva, nós solo tá parte de galaxy, chama Milky Way.
Milky Way.
Então number informal para sobra.
Sim, tá
nós
informal.
nós estava da sabe de for de milhas de anos, right?
Okay.
Pero meio que English, right?
Yeah.
Pero outro não tem nome não científico. É
Yeah.
mais cerca que nós Andromeda.
Okay.
Andromeda tá vindo cerca que nós. Dia nós vai merge.
But it?
Sim.
O sa nabili si mais tempo si.
Nah.
No.
Wala ba yaw?
Vai tomar bilhões de anos.
But
Pero
the
it
merging
will
is going to be
happen.
in what kind of sense?
Most of our galaxy is empty space.
Okay.
So that the two galaxies, stars will merge and dance together and over billions of years reform a new galaxy.
Galaxy.
Now,
Will we see more colors?
well, you will start to see Andromeda get bigger and bigger in the sky, okay? Andromeda is the size of the full moon right now.
Oh.
It's not very bright, but it is that big, okay? So gradually, Andromeda will get bigger and bigger,
Bigger and bigger.
And then the stars will get closer and closer and will mix, okay?
Oh, wow.
And it is possible for stuff to happen. A star could get kicked out. Because it's like mixing two liquids. It's all chaotic, and you sling off me, and I sling off you, and before you know it, something could get spit out. So we could lose a star or planet. Who knows? And it's chaotic. But it's unlikely there'll be a collision. It's usually
Okay.
a dance, a mix,
Okay.
and then there are other galaxies even farther. Before Edwin Hubble, who gave the name to the satellite, to the telescope, we all thought we only had stars. Everything was a star. And then he looked closer and he saw, wait a minute, this thing is not a star. It's a cloud. It looks like our galaxy. And then we realized, oh, these are galaxies. They're not stars.
Yeah, yeah.
When you see a star, it's part of our Milky Way. Okay? You will not see a star from another galaxy because it's too far.
Yeah.
You will only see the galaxy itself. So if you see a star, any star, Betelgeuse, whatever, it's in our Milky
We
Way.
have a Billy Juice.
Yes. Betelgeuse is in the shoulder of the hunter, the Orion hunter.
The Orion.
Yeah.
You got Orion's belt?
Orion's belt.
Yes.
I know Orion's belt because of the movie. That's it.
Okay. Well,
Tem movie?
Orion is a very
Men in
special
Black. Men in Black.
But okay.
constellation for me because
Oh.
in the winter time, when we go out, maybe dancing or whatever, you will see Orion, the hunter.
I will recognize it as three
Yes.
stars.
You
And
could-
my father always said his wife, daughter, and son.
Okay, okay. But you will only see Orion in the winter. Okay, our winter. Because if this is the sun and we are going around the sun, and that's Orion, at certain parts of the year we're on this side,
We can't see it.
and when you look at the sun or look at Orion, it's
You can.
all you see the sun. So you only can see outside when it's night. So you have to be on the back side of the sun when it's dark, and then you can see Orion. So I know in the winter months, I'll see Orion. In the summer months, we'll not see Orion. And the shoulder of Orion is Betelgeuse, very bright red star.
You guys heard it the first here, because I never heard it before.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse.
Betelgeuse.
That's how you spell it in Dutch, and it's better to juice. It sounds like juice, but it's just Betelgeuse is the Dutch name.
Dr. Cheung, hope thanks. A ver si nosotros como se
Yeah,
nos larga,
we-
porque
like
hope mais larga,
forever.
whatever,
Sí.
pero hope interessante, jabiara,
Love it.
informativo.
We have to ever do a part 2
Sí.
whenever you're back on the island.
E ora com o Dr. Cheung tem chance.
As you knows how to get me.
Dr. Cheung tem Lexus ainda?
Sim?
Sim?
Mi Lexus. Mi Lexus, me gostei.
Lexus preto. Não, mentira pra trás, não, mentira. Não vai ter assim, pero mentira pra trás.
Mi baby. RCF, sim.
Dr. Cheung,
5 liter.
nós quero agradecer o nome de XFM Radio para a visita, supermente encanta, é toda uma experiência única para nós e também para nossa rádio oyente, né?
For sure.
Hope, dank. E nós assim, hopicos. Até
We have more cracks in the brains.
Nice.
I love it.
Mas,
Sim.
mas save e
Exato.
probo com mas share
Uh-huh.
para me souvenir e sei tá. Mas é cute também.
Dr. Cheung, né? Sim, é super dank. E nós assim, bekrek seu sonho virar realidade.
Yes.
Dank je, Big Rick.
Thank you, Dr. Cheung, por
Kodami.
passar. Isso aqui tá dinang ko tabay for the books.
In
For
the
the books.
In
for
the books.
sure.
Nós tá check it out for the bucket list.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that the name bucket list, but now it is for sure.
Bom.